Well, hello there. My name is Dave Vila. Second day in a row I'm here, or second program in a row I'm here. I want to welcome you to today's new edition of News and Views, broadcast by Access of Fort County on Public Access TV Channel 99. We are a weekly public opinion program addressing local, state, national topics and issues of interest to the Michigan City and surrounding areas. Opinions are the views and the responsibilities of those making the comments and do not necessarily reflect or represent the views of this program or its co-producers. We will adhere to broadcast rules, but absolutely no one's First Amendment rights of freedom of speech or freedom of the press will be either muzzled nor denied. And any unauthorized use of the accounts, descriptions, and events of this program without the express written consent of Larry Curley or Schmo is strictly prohibited. We hope you enjoy the program, the discussion, and the participants. Ladies and gentlemen, last week I made a promise, and I kept it. Bob?
Well, apparently he's upset because I have a problem with the school board and our development commissions wanting to charge all of everything that the city does and give money to the school board just based on the civil city, or the Michigan City Civil City. That school board, underline this, David, is an area school board. A-R-E-A, area. That means the entire area. When you propose something like this, has to be part of it. So we've got to go out not only and get Michigan City to contribute, Michigan City Civil City to contribute, we also have to get the townships to contribute. Those that are not part of Michigan City Civil City, but are part of, underline this, AREA, the Area School Corporation. Now, when this started, back about 50 years ago, probably in Michigan City, 95% of the students were from the civil city of Michigan City. Today, I would bet that there's about 50% of them are from Michigan City. The other 50% have to start paying their fair share. When are you going to start enunciating that? And Tony and I have already decided that if you're going to enunciate this, then you should run for the school board.
Bob, we have a situation.
You should run for the school board. Don't tell me about
Bob,
your situation.
We have a situation in the state of Indiana that everyone is eligible, every student throughout the state of Indiana is eligible for vouchers. And these vouchers can be utilized. I didn't create the voucher system.
I was for it.
Okay, so you're saying 50% of the residents of Michigan City are local residents and 50% come from elsewhere. Well, maybe
I'm not saying 50% of the residents come from elsewhere.
Those people came from someplace.
Do the numbers. If you go back to when we started that area school board, Michigan City, counting the prison, had approximately 45,000 people. Today, they are down to approximately 31,000, counting the prison. So 45,000 with the prison back 50 years ago. About 31,000 today with the prison. We have lost 30% of the population.
And we're going to lose more, too.
Time out. But the outlying areas that send students to Michigan City area schools have gained in population.
Well, they pay taxes.
Sure. But they don't.
The outlying people
they pay taxes in the area they reside.
They get a cut.
Right. But
Cut.
he's proposing having the redevelopment commission pay the school system from the internal city funds.
Of which the outside people wouldn't pay.
Right, which the outside people would not pay. I'm going to tell you how
state law mandates that contribution from the city through TIF revenue.
I'm going to tell you how.
It mandates it.
They don't have to. It's a request. So the region.
State law is a request?
No, the request goes to the redevelopment commission. The redevelopment commission doesn't have to honor it. It's a request.
That's right, and they kick the can down the road another 3 years.
I don't know. What's the law say? I thought the law said the
must.
School district. No, I thought it said the school district may request. It doesn't say anything that they may give it to them.
Right.
There's a little gray area in the law.
Yeah.
It says the school district may request.
I'll dig it up.
Does that
Keep
now
talking.
mean that they have
Ring
to
your bell. Hit him in the head.
No.
Ring his bell.
No. I'm just saying that the smart people of Michigan City, okay, because of the voucher system, if they want to improve their lifestyle, utilize the voucher system and send your kids to LaPorte. Simple as that.
What if the city school was a desirable place for vouchers to come? They could not only get back their students, they might pull other students, and that goes back to your point. If the city redevelopment would give the the area school system money. Maybe they could improve their district and attract people with vouchers.
I have no problem with the redevelopment commission.
Excuse me, the redevelopment commission wouldn't even provide Kevin McGuire a stipend to put in metal detectors in a Michigan City high school. How pathetic is that?
If you remember correctly,
No.
if you remember correctly, I was in favor.
Well, security doesn't attract vouchers.
I was in favor of the metal detectors. I would pay for that. But I don't want to pay for everything else. And by the way this thing is going around the United States, you may need more than metal detectors.
Oh, yeah.
You may need big, heavy doors.
Well, this is not just a school, because in the development world, most people are now asking about bollards, the big concrete posts in front of their buildings, so people don't ram their buildings. And not just for terrorists, because people are inadvertently running into buildings. And the old way of the little 6-inch curb, which would stop people, is no longer acceptable. Now, if you park in front of the building, they want to put bollards up, these big, round, concrete pilings, to make sure if a car does go at your building, it doesn't get in the building.
The problem
It's a different engineering design that's coming out, and it is helping terrorists and other things that you can't run your car into a building.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say. It's not more than likely 75 to 80% of the situations are inadvertent, but you got 20 to 25% that people are trying to do this to break in.
And on Dave's point, if the redevelopment isn't going to give them money for metal detectors, they surely aren't going to give them money for bollards. And don't just think bollards need to go in the front door. These people who are trying to cause harm will see that there's no way to get in the front door. They will drive right through the wall. So you have to put them all the way around the building.
Or they'll go to the back door.
Or they go to the back door, and they will do, if they're going to try, they're going to do it. They're going to find a way. So if the security, and again, if you had secure and the parents felt like they were putting money in security for the school system and their kids were safe, I think that's a great investment in redevelopment, and that would help draw voucher kids to Michigan City, because I know our school is safe.
Yeah.
But we're deciding not to do that. We have other things. And the other point is, we keep talking about, we've talked about many things about this, that they say, oh, the redevelopment, if we put this money in, it's a good return on investment. Well, I think a good money in the school is a good return on investment. I think it's the best return on investment. But I guess.
Hey,
wait a minute now. I got one more thing to add to that. One of the situations is that in our school system, they stress socialization, which is something that's absolutely necessary. Teaching kids that come out of poor families that haven't been socialized to live with each other, and getting them so that they can relate to one another, they can do things in a job environment that will be positive from a relationship standpoint. Now, the problem is that socialization is probably good to get you into an introductory job, such as if you're in a restaurant, we're talking about bus boys, bus girls, maybe a waitress or a waiter, that kind of thing where you have to relate to people. The problem is that's only going to go so far. What you really need now is to start stressing the academics. We talked about the Mississippi Plan several times and how positive it's been. The school system has got to start looking at that. How do we raise the academic standards? Because you don't even have to worry about the vouchers. If you got the academic standards up there, and you're in the upper 25% of the nation in terms of graduation rate in reading and math, you're going to get people coming here.
Socialism also breaks the cycle.
Yeah.
If you have poor people who see nothing but poor people, they don't understand there's a way out. And when you introduce them to very smart people, or people that are advanced, or people that are economically available, they see, wait, there's a way out.
Yeah.
There's a path forward here. I don't have to be stuck in the situation I was born in, good or bad. And that's a helpful thing in a school district that is growing and is safe and has academic standards.
But
that they see there is a future for me. I don't have to be stuck where I'm at.
oh no, there's a future for socialization. You're right there. And no, they're not going to be stuck where they're at. The problem is trying to get the first level, the second level, that'll even get you sometimes to the third level. But trying to get above that, you're going to have the academics and especially
Yes.
math.
And even, we call it networking, right? You start networking the people who are outside of your normal network, who are your future. I mean, are you just going to be a waitress or a waiter and you're going to work at the auto store or whatever, which isn't bad your whole life, but you see people that are going on to college, people that have careers, people that are union people that have good paying jobs, and you think, wait, I can do that. It's possible for me to do that. They'll teach me how to do that. I would like to do that. But that is the bonus of why we have schools, and I'm fine with homeschooling, but you're taking that away from the kids, that they have that socialism, that they have to deal with people.
Now they become more academic than they do social.
And they become academic, and they can see different futures that they might not be shown in another arena. So there you go. I mean, schools, we're nominating for school board. It's fall.
Yes.
We have promoted the educational system through this program for what, 5, 6, 7, 8 years possibly?
It's the best return on investment.
We talked about what academics can provide for you in later life. We did.
Yeah.
And I'm supportive of the academic process, but it starts at the elementary level. And these impressionable minds that are there.
It doesn't start there. It starts in the funding. You have to fund it.
Well, hey, when you got the city objecting to a possible funding mechanism, you got a problem.
The city is. It's not the city. The TIF.
All right, specifically
70
the TIF,
years ago, this
TIF,
became an area school board.
All right, let me rephrase my statement. When you've got entities within the TIF district kicking the can down the road as far as state responsibility that they must comply with, you got a problem.
The TIF takes money from the school. Takes money from the school, the police, the fire.
That is correct.
Does not give the money to the services that the city does.
All we have to do to figure it out when it's not on the tax rolls from the school board is to sit down and figure out the number of students in that school system and then the areas they come from. The areas they come from, when it's not on the tax rolls, now I'm not talking about on the tax rolls, when it's not on the tax rolls, then each area should be charged for the number of students that they have in that school system.
No, at the present time, the Michigan City Redevelopment Commission has over $15 million in their checking account. That school city is entitled to 15% of that revenue because that is an
they can request 15%.
Well, the law says they may request. The law doesn't say anything on whether they have to give it to them. I read it as they may request, and as soon as they request, they have to give it to them. But they read it as they can request it, and we may deny it.
That money from the TIF district
needs to clarify the law.
Is revenue that was taken from the established tax base to create the TIF district.
They took the growth rate away.
They took the growth rate away. And they continue to make the city go downhill. I want to change the subject.
And they took the growth away, and I don't know, maybe you know, has Michigan City finalized their contracts with the police and fire yet?
No, and you're leading up to something.
Right, they have not.
They have not.
And they have lost their growth rate. So they're asking for money. The city says we don't have it because it's in the redevelopment bank account.
That is correct.
Whoa. Now I'm going to talk about one more. When it comes to services provided by the city, police and fire are one of those services. We have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week fire department. Mm-hmm. We have a 24-hour, 7-day-a-week police department. Mm-hmm. Now, some of the areas outside of the city do have volunteer fire departments. They're good. They come when they're called.
Some of them outrank Michigan City.
Yeah.
Some of them outrank Michigan City.
But what are they going to call when there's a problem at the school? Other than those that are in Pine Township, in maybe another township that's pretty far out. They're going to call Michigan City, regardless of whether it's 2 o'clock in the morning or it's 2 o'clock in the afternoon.
They're going to call everyone. The first person to show up is probably Michigan City.
Yeah, so Michigan City is responsible for all of that. We're taking care of all of that. I'm not arguing about that. That is our responsibility. But what I am saying is we're fulfilling more of our responsibility than some of the other areas. And you want to take it away from us and let the other areas float free.
May I read you something without being interrupted?
If you ding the bell.
Can you read?
The City of Michigan City recently addressed its payroll for 2026 budget, which includes a 2% tax raise for the city, raise for the city. While the exact total payroll figures for 2026 has not been explicitly published as single sum in available budget notices, the following data provides a clear picture of the city's current personnel spending and trends. I'm going back to what you said. Fire and police have not been, okay.
They have no contract right now.
They have no contract. 2026 budget context. The mayor's 2026 budget proposal reflects a tight fiscal situation where revenues exceed expenditures by $22,000. How are you going to negotiate with the fire and the police when you only have $22,000 to play with?
Because it's sitting in the redevelopment account. The growth is gone.
No.
They've trapped it.
No.
They've trapped it in the TIF district.
That I agree with you, but I mean, I'm being facetious
I know.
because
Wait,
I've been
what
saying
year is it? 2026?
I've been saying it
And the
for how many?
2026 budget is,
Yeah.
and this is March.
Well,
March.
what you haven't told us, and I don't.
I'm not done. I'm not done reading. No, I'm not done reading.
Good, oh, great.
People will like this.
Funding loss. The city is working to replace $4.2 million in funding previously used for salary increases. Aha! So now you're not negotiating with the fire and the police. You don't have the money to do that out of this $22,000. Plus you got a $4.2 million deficit that you negotiated with somebody in the past. Is that good budgetary as an accountant? Is that a good
Well, let me understand what's.
Well, where's
what
the
you're
money?
talking-
Here, where's the money?
Oh, and the redevelopment TIF district.
Well, if you're talking about 4.2 million that we did not get from them.
But I'm not done. I'm not done yet, though. I said, give me the privilege of completing this.
No.
Where's the money? I'm going to answer Tony. Where's the money? Do you know?
It's show me.
Show me money. Do you know the base salaries for fire and police and water and sanitation, plus the retirees? Do you know how many retirees there are in the city of Michigan City that is under this budgetary program right now? I think I already told you the answer.
Less than South Bend, I can tell you that. Less than Valparaiso, I can tell you that.
According to this,
Less than Illinois.
According to this employee count, and this is as of 2022. I gave you 2026 statistics. The city maintained records for approximately 1,791 employees. Where's the money? Okay, according to 2026, they have under their umbrella over 1,800 employees. Now, this includes pensioners,
Right.
because, that includes all of the different payouts that the city makes. So now we've got a $22,000 available funds to negotiate with fire police. We got a $4.2 million deficit from prior. We've got a city, individuals within the city that are getting through their pensions or through their salaries. And if you doubt anything what I'm saying, go to Google and look at the base salaries of city employees, of those, including the retirees, and see where the money is going. That's all. I'm not saying no more.
Do we have a problem in the city retirement situation? We have a problem nationally with Social Security because 25, 30, 50 years ago, people did not set aside enough money because the life expectancy was not what it is today. Now let's talk
You
about
did. I did. Tony did. We did.
But you have healthcare problem too.
Well, yes.
Healthcare costs are killing the city too.
Yeah.
Literally. Literally.
But it's the retirement situation with people living a lot longer. Now let me talk about that a little bit.
Before you get living along, okay. Public safety salaries. This is 2024 for a first-class patrolman. You know what it is? A first-class patrolman in a police department? $67,343.
Not enough to live on these days.
No?
Poverty level?
Well,
Right.
are we matching South Bend?
No.
We have to
Not even close.
Well, we compete with South Bend for these people.
Yeah, not even. They steal our people. They steal the sheriff people too.
Yeah.
And they drive to South Bend.
I don't know what I have to do to paint a picture of what deficit spending contributes to over the life of.
You have to show them some money.
I know where the money's at.
We don't have any money, but we do have the money. It's trapped in the redevelopment district. The money has been trapped for 20 years.
Yeah.
It's been taken. It's not, and the plan was return on investment. The redevelopment commission was supposed to take that money and grow the tax base. Hasn't happened.
Yeah, I got one thing I want to conclude with, and then I'll shut up.
Make a distinction
No,
here.
before you make your distinction, 2026 projection. Recent market estimates suggest that the average salary for various city roles now range between $76,000 and $97,000 annually, depending on the position of experience. Of those 1,800 people, maybe 50% of them are in that wage category of 76 to 96 for 76,000.
And that's just the salary. That's not benefits and
No, that's just the salary. Come on, ladies and gentlemen, look at the budgetary issues. I
Look
mean,
at the situation that Michigan City faces, and it goes like this.
been facing that for years.
The population of Michigan City has receded significantly. I'm going to tell you, it's down-
Excuses.
No,
I'm tired
it's a
of
fact.
excuses from your
It's-
side of the ledger.
It's
You're going to
fact.
get
You're
ding-a-ling
not looking at the facts.
You're going to get.
We're down 30% from when you were in office. Now, with the exception of the last 4 years, I got 2 Democrats sitting here. The Democrats ruled the roost while everybody moved out.
$22,000 to
Now,
balance the budget in 2026.
Time out. Now let me finish. The tax base has gone up, even though the population has gone down.
I'd say $22,000.
Time out. The tax base in Michigan City has gone up because of Blue Chip and a number of other situations.
Where's the money then?
They're not raising it because we, in fact,
We're trapping it in TIF.
well, I'm not so sure about that, but we have continued to have to pay higher wages for police officers, for firefighters, and for other people, EMTs, and that's going to continue until we can get people to move here. Now, you want to holler about the Long Beach people and that kind of thing? I got news for you. They pay their taxes. Many of them don't even get a homestead exemption. So they're paying their full taxes, and many of them are elderly, so they've already raised their kids or they don't have any kids. The great thing about that is they're paying the taxes at a very high level, property taxes at a very high level, and they're not putting anybody in the school system. They're not putting, they don't have to hire a teacher to take care of those kids. They don't have to build another building to take care of those people. It's a very nice situation for the school system. The problem is we're going to have to continue to add higher up in the tax base. Now, we're going to have to go out and get another data center, maybe 2 of them. But when that data center kicks in, that will be a real positive.
Well, the data, okay, that's the article I want to bring. Data centers.
Yeah.
Braun signs bill. This is on Indiana Business Journal website. It's a great site. I think it's $100 a year to subscribe. Anyways, Braun signs bills for data center payments, IEDC tax credits, and rental caps. IEDC is the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. And the most part of this article is the data centers. Most large data centers get a full exemption from 7% sales taxes on electricity. I didn't know that. That's not fair. I'd like a full.
But now, the sales tax, though, is a state exemption, not a local exemption.
Yeah, state. But the new law requires data centers to pay 1% of the abatement amount to the local unit of the government where the project. So the Michigan City is going to get 1% of the sales tax on electricity from the data center. Now the other part of this was the IEDC, the Indiana Economic Development Corporation. They're going to House Enrolled Act 1406 stipulates $50 million worth of credits of the credits, I don't know what that means, of the IEDC's $300 million pool must go to projects with a local or government regional forecast. And we all sit here and say Michigan City is getting the short end of the straw. Well, I think we're getting the short end of the straw because you said it just earlier. The IEDC credits could also go to newly created Small Town Opportunity Initiative projects eligible for funding under the Small Town Initiative include efforts to preserve, rehabilitate, redevelop buildings in downtowns of cities or towns with fewer than 30,000. Did we just get...
Well, depending on whether you count the prison.
Now we need the prisoners to move out so we can go. We can get fewer than 30,000 so we can get part of this $30 million, $50 million. But it says, and here's the great, first one was, these are credits. The second thing is you have to be under 30,000. The third thing, the funding is only available to projects with budgets of more than 15 million. So you have to spend 15 million.
We can do that. That's not a problem.
They write these bills And there must be some really smart accounting people, because if you can only have between here and here. This is all you can get right here. You can't get anything.
I hate to tell you this, but the population.
They're not going to give any of that money.
But the population in 2030 may be higher than it was in 2020
Yeah.
without the prison, because the outlying areas like Sheridan Beach,
Michigan City's
Sheridan
growing.
Hills is growing.
Well, by
Yeah.
the high school, Michigan City's growing in many places. We are gaining. We are
But
finally
it
gaining.
definitely shows why we have to continue to increase the tax base, because we're going to have to provide higher.
We could increase the tax base if the city could get the money instead of diverting it to the redevelopment district.
Well, it depends on whether the redevelopment district is successful or not, and that's what you have to look at. I'm going to tell you that the city is, when I think back 50 years, 40 years ago, city is much better off today than it was back then.
Oh, yeah.
Now, we had a discussion about LaPorte the last time in their retail district. If you take Michigan City's retail district from the library all the way to I-94, it is a much better retail area.
Well, Michigan City is ahead of the game there. Our Franklin Street is not Lincoln Way and LaPorte with 5 lanes and semis running through it.
Well, yeah, that's LaPorte's fault.
LaPorte's, yeah.
Wait a minute,
And they're trying
there was a proposal for a
They're trying to get rid of it, yeah.
and LaPorte voted it down. That's LaPorte's
I think
fault.
LaPorte's going to fix it. I think they're going to go to 2 lanes, a turn lane, and parking on each side. And if you don't want to get through traffic running downtown LaPorte, sorry, go around.
But if you just look at the retail outlets along Franklin Street all the way to I-94, Michigan City has a Lowe's, it has a Menards.
Yeah, because you
It has
guys
a Myers, it has a Walmart. Now LaPorte has a Tractor Supply Company and a Walmart. But they don't have anything like Myers. They don't have anything.
Well, they don't have 94.
Right, I know. That's why Michigan
They
City.
don't have Highway 20.
I agree.
Boulevard.
Yeah, I agree. That's why Michigan City has such a positive.
So we should be way ahead of them, but we're not.
We are in retail sales, if you want to look at
Yeah.
May I interject, gentlemen?
it. No, now you've had your ring.
No, I'm not done yet. I got something to read. Okay, one of the most urgent problems facing Michigan City is a lack of commercial and industrial growth. Communities around us expand industrially and commercially, but businesses pack up and leave Michigan City for productivity elsewhere. You know who said that? Me. You know when I said that? In 1979.
You were right in 1979.
You're still
You're not
right
right
today.
now. They're not leaving Michigan City. Lowe's, Menards, Walmart, they've been here and they're staying.
Well-
if you go downtown and look at the development in restaurants, quite a
Yeah, we
few
got a new car wash coming too.
No,
That's
they
gonna-
tabled that in the
they table a car wash?
Yeah.
We're not going to get a new car wash?
I think your show got to the BZA because I understand they tabled it.
No, you're fabricating it.
No,
Okay, go ahead, Tony.
I mean, yes, Michigan City has, and from personal knowledge, Michigan City has Lowe's and Menards and other things. And I can tell you from personal knowledge that we're lucky that Walmart moved and created another building, a bigger building, because Michigan City, and this is different administrations, they weren't friendly. We could have had, everyone I think understands and knows, we could have had the outdoor store out there that's on 94, Bass Pro.
Bass Pro.
We could have had Bass Pro. Michigan City got in the way. We almost didn't have Walmart because Michigan City got in the way. We don't have it, we laugh about the car wash, the crew car wash. I think that was on the BZA, and it got tabled.
Well,
Really, I mean, and I watched another BZA meeting where somebody had a house they want to rebuild in Sheridan Beach, and they almost not gave them approval for that. I mean, we could pile all this paper up, and it'd be this tall, and that's what you go through in Michigan City.
I agree with you. That's a big problem, especially the Bass Pro.
So we could have done better.
Wait a minute, the Bass Pro Shops. Now, you may have different rumors.
We could have had a Target.
Time out. Time out. Let me go through this. The Bass Pro Shop situation went like this. They wanted to come to Michigan City, and
taking that
they
away
went
from
into they went into the mayor's office, and the mayor said, "Well, I'm not really sure about water and sewer when we can do it." They went to Portage, and Portage said, Sammy Maletta, who was good, they've got a marina named after him. He was mayor. Said, "When do you want it?" they got Bass Pro
And that's
Shops.
exactly what Michigan City should have said.
I agree.
They should
Shake
have
my
said,
hand, I
"We-
agree.
We don't know when you could get it. Are you kidding me? What was that? $10-20 million development of Bass Pro Shops, and that's what we tell them? I mean, that doesn't happen in LaPorte. I can
Except-
tell you that.
Except
Sit in
right
LaPorte.
now, that's just water over the bridge. We got to go forward, not backward, and continue to play on that stuff.
Michigan City, well, south of 400,
Go
there's
forward.
a field that's for sale now, and a high-paying, good job company was going to move in there. And you know what? They walked away. And this wasn't my project, but I understand this was a project. They walked away, and this was in the county, because there was a waterway that went through there, and they had so much administrative paperwork to move the waterway. They walked away. They left. They put the lands up for sale again. And that's exactly what happens, and not just Michigan City, most municipalities in government. But then we beat a dead horse here. The city of LaPorte doesn't do that. The county of LaPorte doesn't do that.
Hey, don't we have something more important to talk about?
Yeah,
than
let's go forward.
Let's talk about moving forward here. We can't live in the past. $22,000 to negotiate with the fire and the police.
What do you want?
2,000. We don't want to talk about that.
We want to bring up toll roads. I want to bring up toll roads.
94.
No,
He
I-70.
wants to talk about I-70, but that's
I-70 that runs through Indiana, through Indianapolis.
west.
What about
East, west.
Highway 20 through Michigan City?
Well, I'll get to that. So I-70, the governor has asked the federal government to let him toll I-70. And he says the tolls are going to be $15.60 for a car, to drive a car, not a truck, it's going to be a lot more, all the way through I-70, to go all the way through I-70, so they can widen to 6 lanes. I don't know what year we're working in. I'm not old enough to understand, but why are they want to spend $6.5 billion on I-70 with these tolls to make it 6 lanes. Folks, you could see this one coming down the road and you could be a blind squirrel. We have robotic cars are 3 to 5 years out, whether you like it or not. They don't need 6 lanes. They don't need it all. They will do fine in the lanes you have. We don't need to spend 6.5, but that's not what's happening here. In my opinion, I have no inside game, but I can read the tea leaves. I have a good crystal ball. They say that it's 156 miles across Indiana, that they will get $500 million a year. We, in the northern part of Indiana, know exactly how this works. If they're going to get $500 million a year in tolling I-70, I can guarantee you the next thing you're going to hear that we need $6.5 billion, they're going to release I-70 toll to an equity investor for 75 years so they can get their money. And on that point, I understand the law says we can ask any road to be a toll. Why doesn't the county ask Johnson Road to be a toll road? Why doesn't the city ask Highway 20 to be a toll road? Why don't we make everything a toll road? Because the Democrats have been labeled with taxing people to death. The Republicans are feeing people to death. I don't know which way you like it, but you're getting it one way or another.
I have to say that this is probably not the most ethical reason to do this. And Tony's right about these various charges, but this is Indianapolis, not up here. So as a result of that, I'm not quite as into this as Tony is, because they're not charging us for this. They're charging the Indianapolis area for this. And the Indianapolis area does have some real problems in terms of the distribution of traffic coming in and out of Indianapolis. It grew faster than the road systems did. And this is one of the ways they're trying to make up
Well, you
for
bring up a good point. Why are we, here we go, Indianapolis, the Ivory Palace. Why are we tolling I-70? Other than the Borman, what's the greatest traffic road in Indiana? Oh, 465. Why don't you toll that? Everything's solved. They will never do that. Do you know the pushback they would get from everyone in Indianapolis who gets on and off of 465 to get where they're going? And you look at any metropolitan area. You St. Louis, look at the Borman. You understand most people on the Borman are getting on and off locally, just using it to get through.
Well, they did kind of fix the crowded situation with the trucks, but the Borman at one time was the worst traffic situation in the nation.
So they're not going to toll 465, I guarantee it, because they want to toll 70, which hopefully is most people coming through the state, and it's not local people, so they won't affect them getting elected.
to speak of Highway 70, it's an east and west thoroughfare north of Indianapolis. And last weekend, I went to Knightstown, Indiana, to see my grandson perform.
Oh, yeah.
And if you haven't traveled 65 to 70 and looked at the skyline of Indianapolis over the last 25 years, of which I haven't, the skyline is entirely different. Indiana University built a hospital down there that encompasses probably 6 of
It is a great hospital.
Oh, it is a beautiful.
Well, it's not just beautiful.
The entire skyline has changed. Economic development is spewing out the windows of all of the high rises that weren't there 25 years ago. How is it that can happen down in Indianapolis?
Well, how many counties do we have? 92 counties?
92. Yeah.
So one county seems to get all the money? And that shouldn't be because we have
Well,
representatives.
the counties around Indianapolis are doing
Yeah.
that.
Oh, yeah, Fishers.
But,
And
We have representatives and senators all across the state. I don't know why we let Indianapolis do what they want with our money. It should never happen. Logically, it should never happen, but it does.
Well, you get money where you grow, and as long as they keep hiring people at really high salaries and paying them well in the private area, they're going to get that.
And there's another thing, you know, I just talked about why would 70 need to be 6 lanes? We know technology is moving faster, and data centers are here, robotic cars, robots are coming, and government can function without being in the massive buildings they have down in Indianapolis. Those days are very short, where we have big government buildings and needs for all the amount of people, because technology and AI is going to take 80% of those jobs away. But still, we seem to spend money growing the capital.
But
We can't even look 5 years ahead.
But I want to talk about some of the things we need to look at now for the future 5, 10, 15 years from now. First of all, let's talk about hiring consultants, and Tony can chip in with this one along with me. But the Redevelopment Commission and the Economic Development Commission has got to be a lot smarter than they have been over the course of the last 75 years. And by that, what I mean is, when you go in to hire a consultant, or an engineering firm, or an architectural firm, you basically have to know already exactly what you're looking for, because so many of these are very narrow-minded, but very good in their particular field. Everybody's an expert. Now, I'll give you one that's out of the field, but that's because Dave brought up the hospital in Indianapolis. I have a granddaughter that has a particular type of asthma. There is one doctor in the state of Indiana who handles this. He's at the Indiana University Medical Center in Indianapolis. She goes down once a month to meet with him to make sure that what he's telling the people up here are proper in how to handle that particular type of asthma. Fortunately, my daughter was a respiratory therapist, so as a result of that, when she came down with that, my daughter recognized it right away. We got a helicopter in here. We took her down to Indianapolis in a helicopter to get it treated, because he was the only one that knew how to handle this. You're getting into the same situation with consultants. There's only so many of them that can handle a particular problem. Our Economic Development Commission, our Redevelopment Commission, have got to understand the particular type of problem that they're hiring a consultant to do and to work with, or an engineering firm, or an architectural
Anybody.
firm.
I mean, in the consulting world and any arena, I don't know why you don't ask for 3 proposals. I guarantee you, consultants, engineers, surveyors, lawyers, pick them. Buying fuel, whatever, ask for 3 proposals. They'll give them to you, but we don't do that. I don't think anyone does that. They just pick somebody and they say, here's the contract, and
So that's
we
the
know
problem.
you're good.
That's
and,
the problem,
and,
yes.
and the prices, it doesn't matter. And
No.
then after we get those, we design projects. I know this happens in statewide. We design very big projects. And the people are very good. These consultants have very few talent left, and they're very good at what they do. They design a project, and the law lets them increase that project by 20%. So if we have a $10 million project, the consultants, no matter what they are, surveyors, engineers, lawyers, and the person building, the construction people, know there's $2 million on the table, and I guarantee they're going to find that $2 million to get in their pocket. There's going to be add-ons, changes, whatever there is to get it up to 12 million. That's just the way it happens. And the problem is that if you design the plans or you're the surveyor engineer, I don't think they're pushing back and say, wait a minute, you designed this, and now I have this change order. Is it my fault? Is it your fault? Is it something we just missed or something we didn't know? That never happens. Ever happens.
In your profession, are there more than you as a surveyor that could be involved in this?
LaPorte County is blessed in surveyors and engineers. We have engineers from Indianapolis up here. We have engineers from Illinois, engineers from Ohio, nationwide engineers here that you could ask them if they had a project. They should say, okay, I have this project. This is generally what we want to do. Again, it should be 1 or 2 pages. You give it to 5, give it to 10 people. Say, could you give us a proposal on fee-based, how much it would cost to design this? And just like we see, if you watch the Drainage Board or watch some LaPorte County areas, they get proposals in. Even Michigan City does too, and they have a wide range. You know, there's a real high price. There's usually a real low price, and you can see the board members going, wait a minute, this really low price is. But the technical people who are in the city or the county say, wait, but those are good people. And even in that, those are good people. They're good construction people. They're good consultants. The price they gave me is the price they're going to hold up. And you would take that price. But we don't do that. I don't know if anyone does that. They just give it to somebody, and they do get a price, but they have no idea what's high or low.
And that got to cease. No.
But I don't think it ever will, because they're friends and buddies and lunches and dinners, and I don't think no one's taking any money, but they sure your buddy, and hey, you're my pal.
Now,
that's the way it goes.
I mentioned this a little bit the last time. A couple of projects that I'd like to see them start to work with. First of all, Tony's talked about it. I think it's going to happen. Land-based casinos. When that happens, I think you're going to see Blue Chip want to do a land-based casino.
Michigan City has to have that.
Yeah, I agree.
We have to.
Well, I think they've got to have a little more than that. I also think that Blue Chip could be looking at a potential golf course, but a golf course that would be private, that would be something that you have to pay a fee to join, and would be PGA recognized, Professional Golf Association, to have tournaments here. That would be a huge positive for Michigan City if we could get something like that.
I don't see enough golfers in my age on down. They're gone. They're gone. They're not golfing people.
It's the upper echelon, the older people.
But they're pretty old now.
Yeah.
My dad quit golfing. He's 86.
Well, I think we should be looking at that, is my point. Now, maybe it's not feasible. Maybe we can't do it. But we should be looking at it. The other thing we've got to do is on the north side of Highway 12. For years, we had a brass foundry there called Joseph. Mm-hmm. We need to get in there and find out what is underneath that land. And start to see if we can get grants to get that cleaned up. The other thing, it finally came down, was what I would call a coal chute. That coal chute was there to deposit coal and water in a coal tender that went behind an engine in the era of steam engines. I don't think we've had a steam engine come through Michigan City since 1950. But
they're still in LaPorte County at Heston.
Okay, they took a couple of them. Yes. Anybody want to see what a steam engine is? Go out to Heston, you can ride on one. But the point there is that we've got to find out what's underneath that land also. Now, Tony can correct me, but soil borings tend to be fairly cheap in relation.
Oh, yeah.
Well, so we could start with doing soil borings on those 2 pieces of land, just to find out what is there and what we might have to do to clean it up. The other thing on the other side is the old landfill that we covered up instead of doing anything about. And I'm told from time to time that it reaches into Trail Creek. We need to get that out of there, put someplace else, and let's see if we can't get grants and also some money from the sanitation district.
Soil borings are a very interesting arena. If you go to soil borings, and you can do it for septics where they have people that drill down 5 feet by hand, they tell you what the soil is, they look at it, they compare it. Soil borings for areas that might be polluted, you have 2 arenas, and one is probably only used 1% of the time. 99% of the time, they're using a whole soil scientist and a firm, which gives you a report probably 3 times as thick as this. it's mostly a bunch of mumbo jumbo until you get to the last 4 pages and you see, they tell you what's down there at different elevations. And there's another route. We have well drillers that run around our county and drill wells. They can also do soil borings, and they can pull up soil, and you just have the engineer sit there and look at it and give you a preliminary reading of it, so you're not paying tens of thousands of dollars for a soil report that might not have anything in it. Because you just want to see if there's something down there that's bad. If there's something bad, you move to the next level. But you don't spend the money, you don't spend $10,000, $20,000, $30,000 on a soil report when you know there might be something good, there might be something bad. You go and you pay $3,000 and you get a preliminary report. Do a preliminary report and have somebody look at it. And there are people that do that. And you can move on, and you either move on to the next level or you don't. And we have that in
Easy one for the Redevelopment Commission of the Economic Development.
we have that in sites that are, what do you call it, in sites that may have stuff in them, and you have environmental studies. And the first one's a phase 1. You do a phase 1, you look, it's almost like a desktop. You look and see if there's anything, reason why there'd be something there. And if they find something, they move to a phase 2. They start looking a little bit closer. They find something bad, they move to a phase 3, and they start going down and looking to see exactly where and what it is. So the same thing with soil borings. And soil borings are part of environmental studies.
May I interject, gentlemen?
Very quick.
Please.
Real quick. Okay, I took my findings to IDEM Land Office of Land Quality. Guy's name was Herb Engman, Environmental Coordinator, who took my concerns to the Michigan City Sanitary District, and through an email in communication between the state of Indiana, Indiana Department of Environmental Management, and the Sanitary District, Herb said it's the responsibility of the sanitary district to clean out ditches. We now have within the system with Andy a series of 21 or 22 pictures of physically showing the clogged up ditches that the sanitary district has failed to clean out since 2003. Tony and I, we went down the stream many, many, many years ago. We talked about it. Former city councilman exposed Strebel Pond's debacle to the city, and the city continued to turn its back on reality.
No, they spent $22 million on
to dredge a 20-acre parcel of land that is now called Strebel Pond.
On the high side.
Which, by the way,
on the high side.
By the way, they found out later that it had an environmental problem. That's why there's no fish.
They knew it all the time. They had about. I shouldn't say it. I don't know, but I think it was pretty obvious that there was an environmental problem in that soil. And,
that is correct.
And maybe they wanted to clean up, but we all know where that soil. They didn't go to a landfill.
No.
That soil went over to the hole over the prison.
Woodlawn Ave, just
go around the curb. There's a big hole there. That's where all the soil's sitting.
I'm just saying we have an environmental problem that exists on the west side, and it existed when I was on the city council. And the city continues to turn its back.
And they have a funding mechanism, which they
have a funding mechanism to do it, and they're not doing it.
Well, that's why I would like to start with some very small projects, like the Josam project, like the Coal Chute project.
You can start at any, just do a little piece of it.
Let's do something rather than sit there and shuffle papers.
And then the big one being, we clean out that old landfill that's still there, that was there in the 40s and finally closed down, I think, in the early 60s, and instead it was covered up. Get all of that out of there.
Which landfill?
The one that's close by, 12.
We got 10 minutes. Yeah.
What about the one that's out there?
We're only going to get one at a time.
What about the one that's south of Springland that broke open and then we had to fix it over there at the park?
Well, we're only going to
there's lots of little landfills. For anyone in the 30s, 40s, and 50s, we just found holes and we dumped and we filled them with garbage. And then we have these landfills we see now that have a liner under them. But
this is one that could impede blue chip.
And there was that one, yes.
Look at the landfill.
It's on Trail Creek.
Right, yeah.
Look at the landfill by the administration building, Michigan City High School administration building on the Harrison School area, just between Queens.
Oh, yeah.
That area.
That was a landfill.
Yeah, it was a landfill.
The Riley School area, not the Harrison School.
I'm
old
sorry.
Riley School.
You know, wherever the administration building is now located.
Yeah, that was a landfill.
So that's a landfill. They're all over the place.
We in the 30s and 40s, we used to just find holes and we just put the garbage in it. Yeah. That's what we did.
Hey, my desk is empty here.
Well, I'll have next time when I got a little time, I'll come in with a story about that. But I took a look at industrial complex in an industrial area, and very close to I-94, very close to US 20, a couple of very nice industrial facilities out there, but the roads are terrible. So if we could improve the roads, we might have a situation going, but I'll talk more about this later.
I want to ask a question for you, because this came up on the news last few days, because gas and oil are expensive because of Iran, and that's the way it is. But the question that Indiana Business Journal asked was, then the governors floated this, will they suspend the gas tax? Right now the gas tax in Indiana, I believe, is 36 cents a gallon. And do you think there's any chance that there will actually be a suspension of the gas tax?
How much money is in the rainy day fund?
I will give you this. Probably,
$2 billion, right?
time out.
Oh no, more than that now.
I'm just,
$3 billion.
Time out. I think there's a better chance that Indiana will suspend the gas tax than California will.
Well, Illinois is talking about it too.
Yeah.
I think it's a cold day in HE double hockey sticks that they will ever suspend any gas tax.
Well,
Not in a million
but
years.
I'm saying there's a source of revenue in
Oh, I
a
know.
rainy day fund that could maybe offset on a temporary basis.
Wait, what fund was that?
Huh?
The rainy day?
Rainy day fund.
And what constitutes a rainy day? Oh, a gas price. I was thinking it's raining.
Hey, I wonder what world I live in.
And I had an article, which I don't have, I probably have it there, that Indiana has their tax revenue has generated more than they thought.
Yeah.
So I think there's $3 billion.
Yeah, yeah.
I'm not a fan in any way of a rainy day fund. If they need more money, tax us and take the money. But do you think they will suspend a gas tax? I don't think I could say, what's the number that they would suspend it? If it costs us $7 a gallon, I think they would suspend it.
Yeah,
Wait,
probably.
look, you think you can pick up a fingerprint off of that?
So if it goes to $5 a gallon, I don't think they'll suspend it.
But what I would like to see them do, I don't think they'll do it, is take the sales tax off utilities, especially the ones that are absolute. Heating,
I agree.
heating,
100%.
yes, heating, lighting, water and sanitation. Now, the telephone, that's a whole different ballgame. But I'd like to see them take it off of the NIPSCO bill, which would be heat and light, and then the water department for water and sanitation.
Because if you take it off the bill, whatever the tax is, there's an administrative charge to collect that tax. Just like our wheel tax in Michigan City now and the City of Laporte. There's so if we collect the wheel, well, the state collects a wheel tax. They take an administrative charge and they give us what's left. If you get rid of the tax, that administrative charge goes away. And that helps all of government reduce the need for more taxes. But we don't seem to be able to do that, and we keep spinning our wheels. But that's my question. The question is, will Indiana suspend its gas tax? I think that is a definite no. Never going to happen.
Well, the logic behind what I'm advocating is it goes along with tax on food and tax on prescription drugs. Heating, lighting, water, and sanitation are an absolute requirement. You can't get by without.
I'll go back to administration again. If Indiana would lobby the federal government to get us out of our requirement in Northwest Indiana to use the same blend as Chicago, I bet you would save 30%. Just because we have this unique, specific blend that when Bill Clinton left, they put in place in Northwest Indiana, and we are tied to this because guess where we're coming to right now?
Yeah.
Summer with the unique blend. So there's another fee on top of the tax, the gas we're paying, plus what's happening in Iran and the world. I still don't think, not in a million years will they ever suspend the gas tax. Not going to happen because we just said they're asking for I-70 to be tolled. They're looking for $500 million a year. They're looking to spend $6.5 billion on I-70. They're looking to spend $1 billion on Jasper, where the governor's from, because he wants a bypass. And I'm going to go right back to where I started. Why are we spending money widening and making roads when they will not be needed in 5 years? We'll see. I'll be around in 5 years, I hope, and we'll see. But the world will be a completely different place. You will not recognize what we do in 5 to 10 years. But we're going to keep spending money. We're looking at the boulevard right now, right? We're trying to look at the boulevard and how to fix the boulevard, which we talked about. That's easy. Just get rid of the barrier, the planter you put in the middle of it, and Probably going to get business.
I'm 85, and every time I turned around, they were trying to fix the boulevard.
The Boulevard used to be the place, right? You used to have all kinds
Well,
of
that was
businesses.
back in the 20s and the 30s, yes.
No, even back in the 70s, it was booming. They had grocery store, we had bakery, we had McDonald's came in.
Yeah.
We had a lot. It was Dairy Queen
Dairy
down there.
Queen,
We had KFC. We had the Chinese store down, the Chinese restaurant.
Peter's Dairy.
We had Petty's. We had the record store. The Boulevard was hopping place back in the 70s.
Well, beats what it is today.
And we just kept putting barrier after barrier after barrier down it. And until finally we put a planter. Talk about a barrier, it's a wall. And we wonder why everyone left. Not hard to figure out. Give us 10,000, we'll fix it for you.
Yeah. Well,
Anyway, there you go.
anyway, we got to start looking more at the future. And let's just start with some plans that we know that we can pull through, get enacted, and see what they look like. And that starts, I think.
Quickly, when does early voting start?
I'll have to look it up.
It's coming up, so get ready. You still have time to register,
Yeah.
right? So make sure you register to vote. This is election year, primary in the county, so the sheriff, the prosecutor, the assessor, those are things, especially the assessor, affects you directly on the tax bill of your house. That's the elected official this year.
And the school board, which
And
Tony
school
and
board.
I are going to sign
We
up
nominate
Dave
Dave.
for.
What's your signature look like on that petition? There you go. We only got a few minutes left. We got 2 minutes left.
Okay, I want to take about 15, 20 seconds. When you have available $22,000 in the city's coffers in order to negotiate with fire and police, and the fire and police are the highest paid people in the city of Michigan City.
As well they should be.
I'm not disputing
Yeah.
they maintain control of our city streets, but the fact of the matter is we only got $22,000 to negotiate with them. The end result is that if the negotiation is favorable on their behalf, then the taxpayers of Michigan City who live at or below the poverty level of $46,000 a year will be taxed more. I'm just saying.
Maybe we could shift some of the administrative salaries to the police and the fire. Maybe.
Or we could take a look at it and see what's in that budget.
I know it's the biggest part of the budget.
Yeah,
The police and
it
fire
is.
is by far the biggest part. You can't just take a few people from administration and pay the police and fire
No.
because it's too big.
But when we have roughly 1,800 people on the dole, on the city of Michigan City's dole, again, some of those retirees, they earned their pension and they deserve their
They
pension.
promised they got it.
They promise we're obligated to pay that. But when you look at the overall picture, ladies and gentlemen, somebody's got to wake up. Gentlemen,
Rolling.
I want to thank everybody for watching. Your input as to improvements and criticism of this program is greatly appreciated. Please contact show's co-producers Bob Pollock, Dave Vila, or Tony Hendricks. You can email Bob at skrpollock@gmail.com, Dave at djvila1@hotmail.com, or Tony at emailhem@yahoo.com. Or you may direct your ideas for any future shows to our one and only staff writer who is now in the second week of waking up. Her name is Sarah Bellum. Showing of our program will be Saturday morning at 10 a.m. and also Monday and Thursday evening at 7 p.m. on Channel 99. You may also enjoy watching us on our YouTube channel, 99 Navigate News and Views. Occasionally I look up, Tony, are we all updated?
We're up to date.
We're up to date?
We missed one thing. Baseball opening day, 2 weeks from now. The analysts have got both the Cubs and the White Sox winning more ball games than they did last year. That doesn't mean that they're going to go and beat the Cubs are
I
going to
agree.
beat the Dodgers, but the Cubs and the White Sox should win more games this year.
And I want to thank everybody for watching. And make it a good day. Give me my ding-a-ling.